Just found out that in just 40 days, the FIFA World Cup 2026 will kick off, and it could either make or break my Vancouver restaurant. Am I ready for the madness, or will I be drowning in a sea of disappointed fans? Stick around to find out what's at stake. What 40 days before FIFA World Cup 2026 means for my Vancouver restaurant. I've been running my restaurant in Vancouver's West End for 8 years now. Started small, built up a loyal customer base, survived the pandemic, and finally got to a place where I could predict the rhythms of this city. I know when the cruise ship crowds will hit Granville Island, when the Canucks fans will flood downtown, and exactly how many extra servers I need during summer festival season. But in 40 days, everything changes. FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming to Vancouver. And while everyone's talking about the amazing opportunity for local businesses, I'm lying awake at night wondering if I'm actually prepared for what's about to happen. The city keeps talking about economic benefits and international exposure. That's great. But as a business owner, I'm focused on something more immediate. How am I going to serve customers when they can't get to my restaurant, my staff can't get to work, and my suppliers can't make deliveries? Understanding what we're actually dealing with. Let me be honest about Vancouver's layout, because I think a lot of business owners haven't really thought this through. We're trapped between mountains and ocean, connected by bridges that already back up during regular events. When there's a Canucks game and a concert at Queen Elizabeth Theatre on the same night, downtown becomes a nightmare. My restaurant is 6 blocks from BC Place, where the FIFA matches will happen. On paper, that sounds fantastic. Walking distance from the main venue. In reality, those 6 blocks include some of the most congested intersections in the city. The corner of Robson and Bird becomes a complete standstill during any major event. I've watched what happens during smaller events at BC Place. The entire grid from Georgia to Pacific, from Bird to Cambie, becomes gridlock. People abandon their cars in loading zones. Delivery trucks can't move. Even pedestrian traffic becomes so dense that people can't get through crosswalks during a single light cycle. Now multiply that by international soccer fans, many of whom don't know the city, don't understand our transit system, and will be trying to navigate using GPS that doesn't account for Vancouver's weird traffic patterns. The reality check I had to give myself. 3 months ago, I was planning to stay open regular hours during FIFA, and maybe add a few extra tables on our patio. I figured more people in the city meant more customers. Simple math, right? Then I started really looking at the numbers. FIFA isn't just adding visitors, it's adding them during our busiest season. July is already when we're at capacity most nights. Hotels are already booked solid. The SkyTrain is already packed with summer tourists, cruise ship passengers, and locals trying to enjoy the few months of decent weather we get. I realized I wasn't just planning for soccer fans. I was planning for soccer fans competing with every other visitor who was already coming to Vancouver that month. The family from Calgary who booked their summer vacation months ago still needs dinner reservations. The cruise ship passengers still want to eat in Gastown. The business travelers still need lunch meetings. Every additional person in the city during FIFA isn't just someone who might eat at my restaurant. There's someone competing for the same roads my suppliers use, the same transit lines my staff takes to get to work, the same parking spaces my regular customers depend on. What I'm actually doing to prepare first, I had to completely rethink my supply chain. My main distributor delivers between 6 a.m. and 8 a.m., which usually works perfectly. But during FIFA, those early morning hours might be the only time trucks can move through downtown without getting stuck in game traffic. I've arranged for all my major deliveries to happen before 7 a.m. during the tournament weeks. That meant finding new suppliers for some items because not everyone can accommodate that schedule. It also meant negotiating higher prices because early morning deliveries cost more. But getting stuck with no fresh ingredients because a delivery truck couldn't make it through downtown would cost me a lot more. I've also started stockpiling non-perishables in our basement storage. Things like canned goods, paper products, cleaning supplies, anything I can order in advance and store safely. During the tournament, I want to minimize how many deliveries we absolutely need. For staffing, I had to get creative. 3 of my servers take transit from Surrey and Burnaby. During FIFA, their normal 45-minute commute could easily become 2 hours. I can't ask them to leave home at 4 a.m. to make a 7 p.m. shift. My solution was to partner with 2 other restaurant owners in the neighborhood. We're sharing temporary housing costs for our out-of-downtown staff during the tournament weeks. Split 3 ways, the cost of putting people up in nearby accommodations is manageable, and it guarantees my team can actually get to work, changing my service model completely. I realized pretty quickly that trying to operate exactly the same way during FIFA would be a disaster, so I'm not. We're switching to a limited menu for the tournament weeks. Instead of our usual 28 entrees, we're offering 12. I picked the dishes that use ingredients we can store easily, that don't require last-minute deliveries of specialty items, and that our kitchen can execute quickly even if we're slammed. This wasn't just about simplifying operations. With uncertain supply chains and potentially delayed deliveries, I needed to focus on dishes I could make with ingredients I definitely have on hand. Better to serve a smaller menu perfectly than to run out of half our offerings by Thursday. I'm also changing our reservation system. Usually, we keep about half our tables available for walk-ins. During FIFA, we're going to 90% reservations. When people might wait an hour just to get downtown through traffic, showing up to find no available tables would be a disaster for everyone. The reservation system also lets me manage capacity better. If I know exactly how many people to expect each night, I can plan staffing and food prep more accurately. With all the other uncertainties FIFA brings, controlling what I can control becomes really important. Learning from Vancouver's soccer community. One thing that surprised me was discovering how many serious soccer fans already live in Vancouver. I always thought of us as a hockey city, but there's actually a pretty passionate soccer community here. It's just been flying under the radar. I started reaching out to some of the local supporters clubs and ethnic cultural centers that host viewing parties during major tournaments. These people understand soccer culture in ways I didn't, and they've been incredibly helpful in explaining what to expect. The biggest thing I learned is that soccer fans eat and drink differently than hockey fans. Canucks games are 3 hours, including intermissions, and people usually eat before or after, not during. Soccer matches are 90 minutes with 1 halftime break, and the fan culture is much more social. People want to gather, eat, drink, and celebrate for hours before and after matches. That insight changed my planning completely. Instead of preparing for quick turnover like during hockey games, I'm planning for longer visits. People will want to come early, stay late, and treat meals as part of the whole match experience. The financial reality I had to face. All these preparations cost money up front. The early delivery charges, the temporary housing for staff, the menu redesign, the advanced inventory purchases. It adds up quickly. I had to take out a small business loan to cover the preparation costs. That was scary, because I'm betting on FIFA being good for business. But I have to spend money now to be ready for it. The loan covers about 6 weeks of additional expenses, the extra staffing costs, the modified supply chain, the marketing to reach soccer fans, and a buffer for unexpected problems. I calculated what I need to break even during the tournament and what I need to make for the preparations to pay off. The good news is that the numbers work if I can increase revenue by 40% during the tournament weeks. The bad news is that if FIFA doesn't bring the customers everyone expects, I'm in trouble. Building relationships that will last. One of the smartest things I did was connect with other business owners in my area. The hotel manager 2 blocks away, the retail shop owners on Robson Street, the other restaurant owners between BC Place and English Bay. We're all dealing with the same challenges. We've started meeting monthly to share information and coordinate. The hotel manager tells us when they're expecting their highest occupancy. The retail owners share what they're hearing from their suppliers about delivery disruptions. We restaurant owners compare notes on staffing and menu changes. This coordination is already paying off. When we all need early morning deliveries, we can sometimes consolidate orders to make it worth suppliers' while to service our neighborhood first. When we're all dealing with staff transportation issues, we can share the cost of solutions. More importantly, we can refer customers to each other. If my restaurant is full, I'd rather send people to a partner restaurant down the street than turn them away frustrated. During FIFA, when first impressions of Vancouver businesses matter so much, we need to take care of visitors, even if they can't eat at our specific restaurants. What I'm still worried about. Despite all this preparation, I'm still losing sleep over things I can't control. What if there's a major traffic accident on one of the bridges during a match day? What if the SkyTrain has technical problems when thousands of fans are trying to get downtown? What if the weather is terrible and outdoor dining becomes impossible? Vancouver's infrastructure works fine for regular operations, but we've never tested it with this kind of international event. The Olympics in 2010 were in winter and spread across multiple venues. FIFA is concentrated downtown during our busiest tourist season. I'm also worried about customer expectations. International visitors might expect service levels or menu options that are different from what Vancouver restaurants normally provide. If people have waited hours to get downtown through traffic, they might be frustrated before they even sit down. The key is building enough flexibility into my operations that I can adapt quickly when things don't go according to plan, because something definitely won't go according to plan. As a Vancouver business owner, FIFA World Cup 2026 represents both the biggest opportunity and the biggest risk I've faced since opening my restaurant. The preparation is expensive and stressful, but the potential rewards, both financial and in terms of international exposure for my business, make it worth the effort. The most important thing is being realistic about the challenges while staying optimistic about the opportunities and putting in the work now to be ready for whatever those 40 days bring.